What's up? What's up? What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Live Trading with AmmaJamma. I'm going to get right to it. A couple things I want to mention before we get started is, first of all, market looks like a pullback day. I mean, of course, that could be a setup. We have big earnings. Microsoft got absolutely smoked with earnings. Forward guidance was not great. A lot of people don't think it's a big deal when you have, 18 billion projections and only have, like, say, a 12 billion that you hit. That's a lot. They missed by quite a bit. It is a large company, yes, but that was a lot they missed by. So if that's any sort of indication of what earnings are going to be like, I'm a little apprehensive on that, to be honest. We'll see what happens, though. Let's get right to it. Let's switch this. All right, here we go. Here we go. Let's put that SPY up first, and then we'll look at our day trades. Let's look at our SPY. We're at 396.15. What's the level, guys? You guys remember the level we talked about all week? The level, 395. We are watching 395. 395 is a critical level. That's what we want to hold. That's what we need to see ourselves hold, and that's what I want to see a hold of. If we take a hard bounce at that 395 level today and then break back above, say, 395.50, I think we could turn this around a little bit, but we're not surprised that this happened. Let's look at this daily. Let's pop a line on here. Everybody talks about this line, and we didn't break out of the trend. One impulse candle, i.e. yesterday, didn't even break out all the way. It sat in it for half the day. We couldn't make any sort of true push. This is your impulsive push you have here. It's just, it wasn't a breakout. It wasn't what we were looking for. My line is actually wrong here. Let me pull that down a little bit and pull this out a little bit. It's more like this. So we're not surprised we're coming down. We had a really nice 3 days, guys. Let's be real. We had nice 3 days. Yesterday's SPY was neutral-ish, but we had some stocks that ran really nicely. This is expected when you have those kind of pushes. I mean, we had lower highs yesterday, but we did have a sell-off pretty nasty pre-market yesterday. And once we hit that bottom, we popped all day. It was a theta killer kind of day, though. A lot of choppiness. Not what we really want to see. 395, that's that major level of confluence we're talking about here. And then, of course, our wick low from yesterday. That's where we want to watch our other line. I'm not going to get into it too heavy. I just like to give a couple SPY key resistance and support points that we want to look at. So obviously our point is, and I'm actually going to pull it up to this high pre-market. So above, like, say 397.90 with a strong push, or that nice bounce off that 395 at 396.05, only a buck above that 395. I think you're in risky territory trying to play a put out the gate for under that dollar, for that 80 cents or so, unless you're playing zero DTEs and you're ready to sell. We need to lose that 395 before I'm really, really worried. All right, let's get to it. Oh, look at that wedge. Immediately what you think about on this in the 15 minutes, that's a massive consolidation wedge. So let's leave it on the 5 minute and just draw a couple lines there. That's immediately what we're looking at. We have some consolidation here. Pretty tight as well. So immediately this chart where we're looking at it open is a break above, like 2220 is the area I would want to see us above instantly for any sort of entry there. And that would be with a strong push. If it's kind of hanging out just above the trend line here, not really doing too much, I don't like that. I think that'd be a bull trap and you get caught in that. And then on the dump side, same exact thing right around this area here. This area in between these two lines, the area you really don't want to touch too much. I wouldn't like playing with that area too much, that buck and a half there. I know it's like a 4 or 5% range. Yes, I understand that, but it's also an indecision range. So if you're playing off of bounces in that zone there, you got to be careful. SNOA, we already played this pre-market a little bit. Another one that held up really, really nicely, to be honest. And I'm interested to see what this fibs shows on this one, because it does look like we bounced right around that 618 fibs. And I'm actually going to draw a line there because I'm curious to see, even though we already did bounce it off of it once, I want a box. I like knowing where that 0.5 to that 618, that whole area is. That's what I like to know. And that's what I watch for. So I like to draw a box in this area and keep it there in the market open, so I know where it is. Well, my box isn't working. So That's what we're looking at here. But as far as if we, without pulling back to that area, because we already did once. So honestly, on this, we need to pop on the minute chart for something like this, because I really want to see what's going on. And obviously, we did break out of this little downtrend here. Remember, I want to see at least 3 touch points on those type of patterns, which we did have. And we did finally break over that that area here. So really what we would look for is to bounce off this line here. If we hold above this line and make some true push and market open with some nice volume, that's what we're looking for. That's a pretty massive red candle there. And also at market open, even if we don't ever pull back, I'd want to see us up above the VWAP here and around that 55, which is going to end up being around this area market open if we start to push. So honestly, I'm not touching this below, say, 215 to 218. FWBI is breaking out right now. We're too close to market open to feel assured. Taking a position right here is the smart thing to do. You can see how when we broke that wick high area right here, we did have a pretty strong push. And if we break over that 715 right now in the next couple minutes, I do believe I see, say 730 area, something like that is what I'm looking for here. We are having some pretty heavy resistance as of right at this moment in this area here. So what I would watch at market open here is our wick low here, and then our wick high here. These are the 2 areas we're watching. If we get an impulse move and a hold over 720, we could get some really strong movement in the market open. If we get a candle, a candle or 2 sell off, I would expect these 2 areas. So as we're breaking over that high right now, I wouldn't be surprised to see us test that 730 area. However, we've got 8 minutes in the market open. It's nothing I'm too confident about in this area here. We're just too close to market open. A lot of people are hesitant to load positions right at this moment. If you're not in it before 20 minutes before market open, already actively playing the position, it can get incredibly, incredibly sketchy in that area. All right. So these are 2 bounce zones we're looking at for a true pickup for our entry. So of course, that sell off and the bounce anywhere from, 675 to 680 would be our first area. And then, say 620 to 630. Those are 2 areas I would look for bounces and pickup of support for any sort of continuation here. And also you can see a secondary trend line here I'm kind of watching. So these are the areas I'm watching in the market open, because as you guys have seen many, many times in the last few weeks, the trends matter. The bounce points matter, especially on these continuation stocks at market open. We know that they do matter. So, all right, so let's keep going here. SSNT, it's only a 5% pre-market, nothing, no volume, nothing I'm looking twice about. GMBL is one that is interesting, however, because it had a massive, massive day yesterday. I'm immediately watching this area here. So I would want to see a break and a hold about this area here, or I'm not touching it. This is the area I would like to see that entry, or a clean break from this. There's a couple different areas here. For this one, it is a little bit all over the place. So we put on the 15 so we can see some stuff a little clearer. And what do we see? We see this. All right. So that's what we're watching. So we're watching true bounces off of that area here, because, the reality is we are in a little bit of a trend channel here. We can see that trend channel pretty easily, even though honestly it's longer than the flagpole. So it's not necessarily a flag anymore, but it's definitely a trend channel. So that's the channel we're watching on that one. ATNF is one that likes to be very, very, very bullish sometimes. Let's look at this hour, or let's look at the daily. We have these really nice pops on ATNF once in a while. And another thing, if you notice here, put on our old trusty fibs and look where we're at. Oh my, we need to break up over this area here. But however, let's watch that we're over it now. Actually, we're at 366. I got the daily, so it's not showing. If we hold this area, let me pop on back on our 5-minute. So if we hold this area here, as you can see, we did break up over it. I'd like to see a bounce and a hold of this 351, or a clear break and a hold above $3.98, say $4. We'll go a little higher, say $4 here. This is one that's known to absolutely pop at market open, so it's a top watch. I would say, even though it's only up 17% pre-market, it's one I'm definitely watching. I've got allergies really, really bad, guys. Excuse me, I gotta wipe my eye. My eyes are watering. All right. Here we go. Okay, so what else we got? Let's see here. Buchanan, that one's not a bunch of nothingness. This is interesting right here. You get that one strong candle, but you had that test of that high again. The volume's not quite there. Let's see what our float is on this bad boy. Okay, float's not great. It's over 100 million. So it's nothing that's getting my spidey senses going in any way, shape, or form. It's not too spicy. It's mild spice. It's like Taco Bell mild sauce. We're looking for that level 4 fire. So that 1789 is what we're looking at here. We want to see a break over it. We want some volume too. We need to see some volume. This is the type of stock where, let me pop the daily on just to see what these volumes are. Okay. As you can see, the volume is starting to come in. We've got some uptrend on the daily here. We went from 150 to 70. I want to see, for this to actually give us what we're looking for and be very, very interesting, I want to see half of yesterday's volume in that first 10 minutes. I want 50K volume in those first 15 minutes. If we get that, we're good. That's what I'm like. That's what I want to see. That's the volume I'm looking for in order to feel good about that one. So I want to check a couple things here. I want a 5-minute here. Okay, so this is absolutely the trend line we're watching on SNOA here. So if I had to pick my top watches, obviously ATNF, SNOA are two of them, but I also want to check a couple that have been running, and we'll pop those in our recent. COSM, of course, is one. It's only up 1% pre-market, but you guys can see what I see here. Let's be real. So let's pop this line down to this area here, and then a line right about here. And we're getting a pretty nasty wick candle here. So that's 632. I like 640 and above entry here. 640, 645. Here's our entry point here. I think COSM has a chance to have some hella strong continuation today. It's top watch for me. This was an insane breakout the second half of yesterday. And you could see, yes, we wicked over this area a few times, but most of it was after hours. So what we want to see is a hold over that area here, which is what we're talking about, that 650-ish area. That's what I want to see. That's what I'm watching. Of course, GNS. Every day you get something out of this stock. Let's be real. Yesterday we were down to $4, got up to $5.50. Day before we were down to $3, got up to $6.20. We're not selling off. We're holding. This thing is saying, you know what? I am in the mood for a next leg up. Look at that. All right. Look at that chart, guys. Higher highs established, higher lows established. We didn't wick high yesterday. We didn't beat that 628. So that's the only thing we're watching. The only thing we're worried about. This chart looks good. Looks good. I mean, so what are we looking for here? We want to see, I expect the sell-off, to be honest. I expect the sell-off market open. I wouldn't be surprised to see this test that $4. It's been doing it every day. If we hit anywhere from 425 and under, and then have a strong push, that is your entry. Remember these. It might not happen right at market open, guys. So remember this when I'm off the air. We want to see it bounce in that area here, or the clear immediate break of 460. Clear immediate break of 460, one of those real nice candles. That's what we're looking for. All right, market's open now. So let's watch this candle here on this one. And COSM, I just want to watch these candles. And we know our levels. I gave you the levels on the other ones. You guys have the charts. You know the levels. So let's see what happens here on this one. And COSM. All right, so CSM is there we go. If you have that 638 entry level set, you're immediately up 2.5% from that limit sell. It's exactly what I expected. I said this one looks great for continuation. That was an epic push yesterday. And there's 5% immediately just by having that level set ready to go at market open. We know COSM. We know how it behaves. We know it's a meme stock. And we also know this could immediately pull back up So remember that. This could immediately dump right back off. Remember to protect those profits. Remember to scale out a little bit. That way, if we get a nasty red sell-off candle, you're protected. You're scaled out. Even if it's 2, 3, 4%, these are scalps, guys. We're not looking for 183% on every single one. Let's be real. I like the way that candle picked back up. We don't have anything in the level book that's scaring me per se here. I'm not overly concerned. We've got a 671, or sorry, 671 at 6K. You were flowing here. Time and sales, a little bit of green in it. I think we get a next leg up here. I wouldn't be surprised to see us at 680, but, and I know this is talk about both sides of my mouth, I wouldn't be surprised to be below $6 in the next 4 minutes. It's that kind of stock. High risk, high reward. So we have indecision right now. There's a red candle, but we are holding up at this area here. Let me see what GNS is doing. Okay, not too much right here. Of course, we don't want to touch it below 450, or we want that pullback. All right, so let's pop on our pre-market. Let's see our stocks. Okay, so BAER isn't doing much anything. This is the area we want to see us pull back to. This is our 618 fibs. We break back up over this. At this point, I want to see 2050. 2050, I feel good about. That's the area I want to see. SNOA is being a little boring, to be honest. So let's edit it a little bit. We lost our bottom trend line. So now I like the entry at our wick high here. We could pull that entry box down. Even if it dumps, it doesn't mean we give up on something that ran the way it did in pre-market. We're just smart. We're not giving up. Because if you give up on it, you move on and you say, you know what? Then you miss those secondary pops. And at least 75% of the time, the second pop is cleaner. You get stronger green candles. You get more volume pulling in. You get less fear. You get more manipulation. And when the market makers want to make sure it goes up, it's going to go up. So I like the second push. I like that golden fibs. I like having something to chart and watch for the second move instead of a blind fear base. Is it going to keep going? When do I sell? Is it going to keep going? We like the secondary push. Stop giving up on charts so quickly, guys, especially a chart that pops 60, 70, 80% pre-market. Unless one of those shit setups. And you're learning. I'm teaching you guys what invokes a shit setup. So we've got nothing going on here. FWBI. All right, so FWBI is another one that hit our entry. We had that we had our perfect bounce off our 679, and then there's our entry. It's already 10%. If you had that entry set, this is the one you were watching for that bounce in our zone here, that was automatically a 5 to 10% candle. So we might dump off immediately here. Let's see if we come back and hold here, or if we come back down to our secondary box here. If we hold here and we could push back 2/3 of this candle, I want to see a 2/3 pushback in the next 3 minutes. I think we get continuation. So we need to break up over this box in the next 2 to 3 minutes. If we don't get that, I'm not looking twice at it right now. I'm not giving up on it, but I'm not going to stare at it. Okay, so there's another entry for us. We hit our 20-cent entry at our line there, already up to almost 22 cents. That's another 8, 9, 10%. Like, I'm making nothing off these trades, guys. I'm trying to talk you guys through the trades that you like the best, the setups. I'm giving you the entry. Set your sells, set your buys, set your limit buys, because these are all after market open. Have those limit buys ready to go. Pick the chart you like that makes the most sense to you, and we're trading it together. I'm flipping to the chart. I'm going to come to the chart. We're never going to flip between more than 4, 5, 6 charts at once. And we're going to learn while we trade. That's what this is all about. Is I'm not only going to, catch the fish. I'm going to hand you the fishing pole and the bait and the lures and the tracker and the boat. We're going to get all the things here. So that's what we're doing. I'm so sorry. My eyes keep watering, guys. So I promise I'm not crying. Anyway, all right, so this one looks interesting. It is teasing that entry we had on BAER. SNOA. Okay, so SNOA is sniffing our entry as well. It barely broke over, so some people probably did end up getting an entry there at that 215 level. I want to see us hold our trend line now. We need to get that second push up. We need to get over our 55. That's what we need right now. Like, this should be an impulse candle. If you took the bounce, we didn't come all the way down to that 182. We came to 188. But if you took that bounce, you could be up a couple percent right now. We had our two scenarios. So, whatever one you took, BAER looks like it is pushing up. Okay, it's just hanging out right now. GMBL. All right, we hit that 21.8. We're coming back down. Let's see what this candle does. I do want to check on GNS. All right. COSM. All right, so COSM did end up hitting that 672 from our 645 level, about 5% around there. And it looks like we might pick up a little bit of support here. So let's okay, we did not. That's what you need to watch is right there. And I'm glad I just saw that happen, because a couple minutes ago I said we could see this dump hard. We know how this stock is. It's high risk, high reward, scale out of 80% of your position. This is exactly why. But a lot of times these wicks I like to catch for a buy. So when I saw a dump like this, I would have loved an entry at 610. I don't want to see it come back down to 610 now again, because then you're out. It's going to continue dumping down. But I think this could pop right back up, to be honest. I would not be surprised. All right. I don't want to sit on anyone too long. BAER is just hanging out still. All right, so there we go, SNOA. That's what we wanted to see. That's what we wanted to see right there. So you had entry anywhere between 205 and 215 in that area here. If you are in at 205 and up 3-4-5%, maybe scale a little bit here. For the rest of you, I wouldn't let your stop loss go much below this trend line. Extend it out here. That's what we want to see hold. So you could protect yourself from going deep red, because we are getting a little bit of rejection here, to be honest. So. All right. This one, no volume here. This is not too interesting to me, to be honest. And ATNF is it's bouncing off that area here where we're hanging out. I don't hate entry here, guys. I think you'd be a little safer above, say, 383, but I don't hate entry here. But here's the thing. If you take this entry right here, you got to have a tighter stop loss. I don't even know if I'd go wick low here. I'd go lose half this candle here. But I don't hate entry. It's showing a little bit of support pickup here. We've got our trend line. It's just playing along up this trend line here. It hasn't proved itself, though. I like that 380 better. I don't hate here. All right. I personally would wait a little bit longer, but if you're comfortable with the way you buy and sell, it's not terrible here. So SNOA did actually push a little bit higher, push up 224, 223. Another nasty red candle day. One of those days, people. It's one of those days. FWBI, we talked about this one, ended up wicking to 749. Nothing. Okay, so this one ended up working out really nicely, though. We had that 20-cent entry. We hit 23.4. That's 15% right there. And if you got in further down at the wick, and we broke over our trend line, you got in 19.5. But our entry was above 20.25. So, and at 23 cents, you're about 15%, 14% right here. Not bad. I would definitely sell it a little bit, and I would want to see us pick up support here. That's who want to see this wick low and sell the rest of your position if we can't hold that. So, we have one for 15 cents. The other one's a little not the greatest today. Not the greatest. This one's okay. I do like what the chart's doing. I don't mind the chart. I don't like what happened with COSM with that candle. It worries me that some people were in and didn't get that sell off, even though I did suggest selling some. We're only up 4 or 5%. Nothing crazy. So let's watch if we get a double bottom bounce to $6 here. If we get a true bounce in this area here, then I would like entry above here. All right. I'm not touching it again until above 627. And there's our GNS. We hit that we came down at 413. We came below that 200. We didn't come all the way down to 4, but we did come down to a decent range and then popped right up about 10-12% here on this one. we are hanging out just above our high range, which was 450, but our actual entry was 460 or above. So we didn't get quite to that entry. We didn't really we didn't really want to touch anything in this area here, is what we talked about. I want to see a pullback to $4. So we didn't get quite that pullback. So if you were watching this one, I don't think an entry came about that we were too thrilled about, because $4 is pretty far down. But it's acting like it wants to continue here. So I still do like that 460 area for an entry if we could break above that wick high again. All right, let's see here. SNOA still looks good. It looks like it wants to make a little move. So FWBI is bouncing right off our entry zone. That's that low entry zone of 637. Let's see what it does here, because we already had our first pop for a few percent there. That wasn't sustainable. Came right back down. Wasn't the greatest candle, but we are taking a nice little bounce here. We need to get back above like 670 in the next 5 minutes or so to feel like we have any sort of push, and that this isn't just like a little dead cat bounce. All right, what else we got? GMBL, we already talked about that. EHTH is not one that we spoke about. However, watch this flag. I don't know if we have the volume. Let me check this volume. Yeah, we have the volume. Okay. So this EHTH above 692. I wouldn't go any much below that. But however, don't forget about our impulse move. We would prefer to see an impulsive breakout, a retest, and then we take our entry. Or that 698, which I don't like. I'm not thrilled about this candle. I'd like to see it come back, test our wedge, and then push again. We might not get that. That first impulse move is super sketchy, dangerous to take that entry on. CDTX doing much ado about nothing on that one. ATNF is kind of hanging out at our red zone here. We already played it off that bounce for a few percent. This is our 618 fib. So at this area here, a break back above 370 areas where I'd like another entry at, right around there. ENSC is acting interesting here as well. This is one I was actually kind of watching. If we break up over this 84 cents with some nice volume, we could get a nice little impulsive push here. So watch that. All right, so GNS did end up popping here, so we do have an entry at this point if you took that entry. I'd love to see us test our upper trend line here. We need another candle. It's just sustainability here, because it was a little weird. We didn't quite come down to that $4 level, so I'm not thrilled. Like we already talked about this, I'm not thrilled about what this chart did, because unless you were watching it, we had our entry levels down below that 4 or at this 490. So, or 450, excuse me. And even at the 450, it's still like 2 to 2.5% to 468. Nothing great. We got nothing going on these. Okay, so SNO hung at that area. Now we're pulling back. So what does that mean for the rest of the day? We already talked about this when we kind of expected this pullback here. We couldn't get the gusto we needed. Let's see if it does that double bottom bounce. And then I would flip on the 5 here. And the other area I would watch is this 55 MA on the 5. See if it catches up to it. Well, all right. It's 8:45. Nothing huge, nothing insane today. We had some really nice pushes on GMBL for 10-15%. We got a few percent here and there on random stocks. It looks like BAER halted down. Okay, this is one to watch though. I like this BAER today. I think we get some action out of it. I'll see you guys in the Discord. Come check us out. pbalerts.com. Use the code Amy30 for 30% off, and we're going to go trade some options and make the real money. Bye, guys.